going after former President-elect Barack Obama in a move that seems so derivatively pathetic, it could only be coming from Trump. Now, what has brought upon this attack? Well, it's quite clear. This attack is being brought on by the Trump administration as a distractionary ploy, as the pressure is being put on him to answer about the Epstein files. And because he has not yet opened up the entire Epstein file and made it public that they're going through the DOJ to try to get it done, he's trying to throw Obama under the bus and make up things to make him look bad, etc. And it's a tacky wag the dog, what they say, wag the dog moment where they're trying to rub something in your face to make you focus on that and get away from the actual truth of the matter. It's a total distractionary moment. Now, if you're real, I'm here to tell you not to be fooled. Because Jack Smith put out classified documents in his report about Donald Trump. Now, they're not focusing on those because those is what they don't want to focus on. They're quick to say this is false. There's no evidence to support these things. But for everybody else, they don't need evidence at all. They just need them to say it. So let's take a look at Jack Smith's classified document report on Donald J. Trump and said this is what he's guilty of. Stealing tens of thousands of top secret classified documents. More than 37 counts of espionage and treason. Sharing top secret classified intelligence information and U.S. nuclear secrets. Sharing NATO allied national defense capabilities to foreign adversaries. Lied about having top secret classified documents. Ignored multiple requests and subpoenas for the stolen documents. Had top secret classified documents in areas easily accessible to the public. Hid stolen documents, moved, returned some, denied having others. Blamed the FBI for planning the stolen top secret classified documents. Moved stolen classified documents from Mar-a-Lago to Bedminster, New Jersey. Sold U.S. intelligence secrets to the Saudis. Flooded the control room servers at Mar-a-Lago to destroy video evidence. At least a dozen counts of witness tampering and witness intimidation. Still has not returned thousands of stolen classified documents. And they said this is what he is guilty of. Trump is yet to sue Jack Smith. Now, so that's not coming from me. That's coming from Jack Smith. So if they want, they could take it up with Jack Smith. But I want all Trump supporters to know that's a lot. That's a lot of damning evidence that they claim that they have on Donald Trump. So if you are so American, does that sound American to you? Since you guys are so America first, I'm just saying, does that sound like America? Does that sound like he's doing that to put America first? Or is he out there to get some money? I'm just asking. Hey, don't hurt the messenger. The messenger just asking. I know. I sat there and said it to myself 1,000 times. I said, if they ever found Donald Trump guilty on things, they're never going to believe it anyway. His supporters are going to find a way to say, nope, not my president. Because they don't want to believe it. He can do no wrong. A man who has never did no right. He's only been self-serving his entire career, just like any other person who was in the White House. So why do you expect such dramatic change when you're mentioning him? I just find that quite curious and interesting. That he's supposed to change and break the mold of what's been, when it's never been. He's supposed to rewrite the ship when he never had those intentions. He was supposed to be the guy to turn it all around when he had no intentions. You have to start asking the tough questions to yourself. What are you doing here? Are you really voting for the best thing for you right now? And if you did vote for Trump, damn. Okay, what did I do it off of? I'm not mad if you voted for Trump, because the other side really didn't present a big or strong enough case for you to believe in them. They were just like, don't vote for him. But it's like, well, you haven't given us another option. And the general public is swayed by the fact of focusing on your failures. But now he's in the White House. Let's see what he does. So all the Latinos who complain about the Obama era and how they didn't get anything and Trump was their man and he's going to fix things. And then he start locking your cousins up, getting Pito out of his job. Jorge ain't going to be there. Jorge going back to El Salvador. You see, now y'all concerned. Now y'all like, hey, wait a minute. Now you seen your laws being broken. You're being violated. Your rights. He said, hey, I'm going to get out the violent criminals. Well, that wasn't true. He got some of them out. The rest of them, he said, I don't want to go through due process. I want to do it my way. Will I ever admit publicly I was wrong? Of course. What was I wrong about? Donald Trump isn't using Barack Obama as a distraction to try to pull away from the fact they're asking him, the president, about the Epstein files, his own Republican Party. I'm wrong about that? Is that what you're telling me? I'm wrong about that? What am I supposed to be wrong about? You know, I'm not someone that's going to be dumb enough to fall for the banana in the tailpipe. When I see something that's foul, I call it like I see it. I say, oh, well, that's foul. There's no need for me to engage in it. You know, they had the wise man and the fool, right? They had this world's smartest man. As they said, he's the wisest guy in the universe. And they used to tell him that, and they said, well, you're not that bright, sir. The guy who they called dumb. They said, well, you're not that bright, so here's what we want you to do. You just sit there and say nothing. You just smile whenever they talk. You say, yes, ma'am, no, ma'am, no, sir, yes, sir, and smile. That's all you do. So all night, the wise man went into a meeting, party with all of these high billionaire men, and he wanted to impress them with his knowledge, start talking about Aristotle, all these things. And when they said something and they were wrong, he corrected them and gave him the right thing and showed off his big brain. And at the end of that night, the wise man was right about everything he did. And they took him out to show him the pool, to show him what his reward was. He saw that big, gigantic pool. He turned around, pow, shot right in the stomach. He's bleeding out. He falls into the pool. And he can't swim, and he don't understand what's going on. And the billionaire says, you come to my house and embarrass me. Make me look dumb in front of all my people. And you call yourself the wise man. That was not wise. So don't mistake the ability to have knowledge as the same thing as being wise. A wise person knows when to talk and when not to talk, when to listen. See, that guy was smart, but he wasn't wise. Now, what Trump has done since he's been in office, he signed a big bill or whatever he called it and put that in play. He started rounding up some people from ICE, right? But he hasn't done anything about the squatters. Christian is leaping into action on that. He's been busy this first couple of days. But I'm like, well, let's wait and see. Now, everybody wants this Epstein file for the Republican Party because they feel they can hurt the Democrats with it, and they can hurt Bill Clinton, who's not even important. People who have seen the file have already been told people there is a file. They've seen the file and told people what the file is really about, saying there's nothing really in there about Donald Trump, so why wouldn't he release it is another mystery. They even got Fidel Castro name mentioned. People like world leaders, names are mentioned in the file. But there's nothing really in the file that's going to be a smoking gun or even a list. Trump's name is mentioned over 20 times in the file, but never of him committing any crimes. Like, the file is not really about that. The file was more about Epstein and Maxwell and what they were doing. It doesn't give a client list, hit list of what went down. I don't even know why people would even be expecting to see such a thing. Why would you even expect that? People who move like that don't move sloppy. It says, here's the client list. They have a list of friends. They know who to call for certain situations. Mostly they're contacted in another way that's part of their group that will never be divulged to the public. So asking for it is moronic. But they can say they asked for it. They'll always have that working for them. Hey, we asked about it and we never got any word back. But we asked. Then we fell. Phil, did we not ask about the report? And what did they tell us? So all of this Obama being arrested, lock him up stuff, Trump needs to worry about his election, his crimes or alleged crimes. Things that he has been convicted on. See, at the end of the day, that's what the people are going to focus on. That is what they will remember. See, you are the president of the United States. You're not running for office no more. So you trying to go after Obama, who's not in office no more, it's kind of like a moot point. Because right now, it's all on you. No. Well, it's not about, look, it's about the balance of the country. If you try to bully everybody, what are you going to do to the people that you try to bully? They know you on borrowed time. So you only got 4 years to be in office. And it's already approaching 1 year. And you might not make it to 4 years. They might get in there and vote you out of office. So there's a lot of things that you're doing that's not adding up to the numbers that other people are seeing that's supposed to be the end all be all of everything. All right, he's the president of a city that can't stand him. Right now, Trump is at war with Harvard University. Why is he at war with Harvard University? Because he wanted to go to Harvard, but he was too dumb. So he had to go to Warrenton, where his family basically bankrolled the school, so they got him in and was able to pass him. He was told by one of his professors at Warrenton that he was the dumbest student ever to go there. You can look it up. These are facts. So now, Trump's son wanted to go to Warrenton, Barron, and he wanted to go to Harvard, and he got denied. So now Trump is on this whole thing because Barack went to Harvard, graduated, master's, honors. Now Trump wants to go to war with Harvard. He's like a child. He really is. I've met Donald Trump 3, 4 times in my life. He's been the same way. He wants attention. Palazzo. He was with Don King. We're in Las Vegas. Donald Trump's at the fight with Don King. And he wants people to notice him. He walks by and he's hovering. You know, he was waiting on somebody to say something to him. And then he's hovering again. Like he walked by and he just wouldn't say nothing, just hovering. I'm like, so he walked by again and I was like, what's up, Trump? Oh, hi, how you doing? Yeah. How you doing? Yeah, how you doing? I mean, it was just weird. It was like, okay, like what does he want? And he's like hovering. That's what he does. He hovers. And he wants you to say something to him first. Like he just wants to be acknowledged. Oh, shit. I'm like, look, I just got you back. I can't have you getting broken up. Yeah, the phone is back. Yeah. Yeah, then I saw him. He was the guest speaker at the real estate convention here in Rosemont. He's the guest speaker. We got to meet him early. We was there for everybody else. But after it was over, everybody who was at the real estate convention was there. He was there. He talked about absolutely nothing. He sounded like an idiot. I was like, why is he the guest speaker? He was terrible. He was. He knew nothing about real estate. He really knew nothing about real estate. Trump got up there, made some damn, he just rambled. You know, some people say you're not going to make it. You know, forget them. They're not your friends. No. Oh, I'm telling you, the friends I got, I bought them. I don't have friends. I got people I do business with. And that's what you got to do. I was like, I remember you. Robert Kiyosaki was like, yeah, Donald was being Donald. Basically saying this dude has nothing to say. And because he has nothing to say, you know, listening to him, hey, do it at your own vice. They're like, look, do it at your own vice, man. I don't know what to tell you here. But do it at your own vice. I know, man. It's one of those things, you know, where you go through a change or a pivot. You know, many people go through a pivot in their life. You know? They go through some sort of change, something that molds them or moves them to another stanza of where they are. So, you know, I used to be here, but now I'm here. You know, now I've moved. Well, I often felt like the scenarios, the situations that were in play were meant to be there for a reason. You feel me? Like certain scenarios was meant to be there. Like This was meant to happen for us. This was meant to be that. This was meant to be this here. This was meant to be gold. With Trump, you don't know where to go with that. But I just understand what he is. He's a guy that takes and absorbs everything out of something, then he leaves it. And he doesn't leave it better than where he left it. He leaves it and everybody is screwed up, mad, angry, ticked off, workers not paid, and it's just while he walks away and he goes into something else. It's what he's always done in his life. So why would I expect him to be something different? That's just the point I'm at right now. It's like, wow. It's like a shock and awe. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So he's going to try to remove your civil rights. So if he removes your civil rights, you're basically dealing with a dictator. That means you don't have the right civilly to be treated like a human being. Civil unrest. But 9 times out of 10, it's not your fault. You always vote against your own interests. You look at that, it's been happening all across the globe. They voted for Biden. He was completely against your interests. There's just certain people that never should be in office. Trump represents 90% of them. Well, many people will feel indifferent to the situation. You might think this is ideal, others may not. It's just a matter of opinion. What do you feel like it represents today? Well, I like to be with someone that represents me. I like to pick a candidate that I feel like that person stands for value. I feel okay placing my vote with him. Now, what Trump has done He's allowed a lot of people to have their ways swayed. Now these people are coming at him sideways. They're coming out crazy. All type of ways. Yeah, that's right. Obama's part of it too. Well, we can't pivot off of it if he's not going to open the entire Epstein file. Mm-hmm. Yep, the Democrat and Republican ship is dead. But in the walk of things, it isn't. You probably said what happened, right? What does it mean? What are the factors? Well, what it means is something essential, a transference. What you're starting to notice is that the more and more people are languishing into a false reality, what they're really embracing is the idealism of one person doing more than another. Well, he needs to focus on getting rid of the Mann Act. The Mann Act has been basically handicapping this whole nation for years. So we want to start making progress in this world. Changing that law is essential. Well, many people don't understand is the what if factors of the game, you know? Now, there's only so much a human being can take, right? We all pretty much agree on that. Well, trying to do what's prevalent and doing what's right or essential are always on two different, what I'd say, two different balancing scales. Well, you want to be on the scale of approval, but then you don't want to be on a scale that sinks you down to where you feel like you're nothing. You don't want that either, or either. No, many people, they're different than us, you know? They don't see the light at the end of the tunnel. They just see the tunnel and say, that's a long way down. They don't see the light. Well, because people want to delegate. They want to complain, but delegate. It's like, well, I'm going to complain about everything, but they'd be like, okay, well, what's your plan? What are the views? I don't know. I hired him. I voted for him. It's his job. Okay, you delegated it to him. You don't like what he's doing on the job, but do you know what he's doing on the job? You don't even know what he does. So how are you upset about something you don't even know what you're upset about? No, it's just, if I do something off the strength, I do it off the strength. If I do something with somebody else and we doing it because it's the right thing to do, that's something else entirely. Yeah, well, we'll see how it plays out in the end. We always seem to see it go another way, right? But we'll see how it plays out. Shouts out to Kwame Brown, Bus Life, 78 Sports, TV, Blood, Boxing, everybody who was getting it real, keeping it red. I'm out.